Preparing live stream. I think it's funny. I get a message on my own YouTube saying, "Hey, you're live."
Like, no duh.
Right? Okay, can you see me?
Yes.
We are now live on YouTube. Let me go to my channel so I can make sure we check the chat box and see who's here and what's going on. Yay, it shows we're live. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Casey Oswald. Welcome to my channel. And today, and today on Meet the Teacher, we have Marianne. Hello, Marianne.
Hello, Casey. How are you?
Good. How'd your classes go this morning?
Good. I don't normally work Mondays. I've been trying to take at least one day off, but I ended up, we're trying to pay off something. So any extra money I make goes towards that. So why not?
Yeah.
But they were good.
It's kind of addicting to open classes too.
It is.
Just one more. Just one
more.
Sure,
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Great. So first, let's get started by you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I've been with VIPKid for almost 2.5 years. I'll be signing my 6th contract in April.
Great.
So October 2017, I started with VIPKid. I am married. It'll be 24 years next month. Good. And I have 2 beautiful daughters who I love so much, and they're in college. So I'm able to work at VIPKid full time because of that. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in education. And I'm certified early childhood, elementary education, and as a reading specialist.
Great.
So
very good. We have similar stories. As you were talking, I was like, oh, I'll be hitting 24 years too soon.
I know, I copied your story. I'm just kidding.
Except I don't have 2 daughters. I have 1 and 1.
Right, true.
Well, great. So we have Evelyn Joy and Teacher Heather. Teacher Heather said you look gorgeous, Marianne.
Oh, thank you.
Yay. Thanks for coming, guys. And
yes, thank you.
Any questions for Marianne, please put them in the chat. And Marianne, I think you already know this, but just so you know, when I look this way, I'm checking the chat and seeing who has questions for us or questions for you, because this is all about you today. And Teacher Heather said your hair is getting long.
Yes. Yeah, it is getting long. That is true.
Okay, you ready for your question round here?
Yes, I am ready.
So what was your why for starting in VIPKid?
Okay, so the Lord sent me this job, honestly. I went to graduate school after my kids were older. I went back to school because I wanted to find a career, and I thought, I love teaching, I love working with children. I feel very confident in that with that job. So I knew I had to go back to school, and actually it took me 3 years to get my master's. And, but unfortunately, the job market, at least in my area, is saturated with teachers. I could not find a job. For one applicant, if one job opening, there would be 600 applicants. So even though I had worked in the school district for 8 years as a para, it just didn't seem to matter. I don't know. It just was, I couldn't find anything.
Right.
So one of my teacher friends posted on Facebook about VIPKid, and I saw it. I'm like, I don't know. It just didn't sound like legit, right?
Right.
But I knew this teacher. She's a friend of mine. She wouldn't do it if it wasn't legitimate. So that's actually how I found out about VIPKid. I applied. And of course, as you know, well, things have changed tremendously, even in the 2.5 years I've been with them.
Yeah.
And the process was a little daunting. It was a little different, I know, them from what you went through.
Right.
So when I applied, you actually do 2 do a lesson for older kids and younger kids, and they let you know which they think is your strength. I knew it would be younger kids because it's my thing, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm like, okay. So at the time, I was also substitute teaching. So I didn't really, people would complain about low bookings, and I'm like, I was fine with that because I'm like, I'm subbing, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so it started off gradually, and then it eventually snowballed. But anyway, that's my why, because I couldn't find a teaching job in my area. So I teach online, which is awesome.
Well, I think it worked out for you.
Yes.
You seem to enjoy it.
I love it. I mean, love it. I mean, who doesn't want to work from home, right?
Right.
And I still get a classroom. It's virtual. I have also tutored outside, in the real world. So there's always that to do. And then I might apply again for a brick and mortar position. I have that option because when I did apply for teaching positions, I didn't have any experience, and now I have a couple of years, so that could be in my favor. But anyway, yes, I do love it.
I don't know if I'll go back in the classroom.
Right.
I will,
know.
I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't know. The hardest part about teaching are the parents, and I pretty much don't have to deal with as much right now.
That is a true statement.
Okay, so we know that you have your degree in teaching, and so I'm just going to skip that one. Are you tech savvy, and what kind of technology do you use in your classroom?
Okay, so according to my dad, very tech savvy, but not really. No, I am not. I really need to take a class, or if they offer something like at the community college or something to kind of learn some skills. So I am not tech savvy.
Yeah.
That was actually, when I got hired, the hardest part for me was making that 15-second video. Oh, it took me hours, it seemed like, I did it and redid it and redid it. And I'm like, no, I don't like that. And because I don't know how to edit and all that. So
that's
that was
why I'm doing live.
What's that?
That's why I'm doing live.
Right. Okay. Yes. Makes sense. So that was actually the hardest part of getting hired, was doing that video. And so anyway, not tech savvy, I'm old school. And I did get an iPad for Christmas to use as a backup. So I still haven't even used it yet. Or my daughters actually helped me with technology. When I was in grad school, I went back in 2011, and we had to do PowerPoint presentations, and I'm like, what? So not only I'm going to grad school, I had to learn how to do PowerPoint, and unfortunately my daughters helped me a lot in that respect. So anyway,
these kids have grown up with all this technology, and
yes. Now I'm old school, prop queen. I probably have a prop for everything.
All right, do tell us some props. Tell us some of your favorites.
Okay, so here's some. There's some that I keep right at my desk that I have, so I have available all the time. I got these cubes at a teacher supply store, and these are little cards. Like, for example, this one is, these are colors, and I usually keep these on. They have other things you can insert, which are cool. So colors can be used in, level 1, 2, 3, if you want to review colors, teach them colors, or see what colors they know. So one of my props that I've been using lately, reward prop, I have this gumball machine, okay? And so it's cool because for level 1, I can say, because in Egypt, they learn about the word coin, put it in, turn, and I show them. And if they don't know colors, I'll just say orange.
Cute.
And then I can show them orange. So they're learning colors, or if they do know their colors, if they're more advanced, I can say, what color is it? So that helps with them practicing conversation. With the older kids, I have this statement, what color do you think it will be? And then I'll hold this up, and then they can read that until they kind of can say it on their own, and then I'll take it away. I think it will be So, and I mean, some of the older kids don't know all their colors, so it's a good
Right.
way to practice. So I really like that prop because it can be used for many levels.
Mhm.
I have I found these at a thrift store, my heart
Oh,
set.
yes.
So when they give a heart, I'll say, thank you for the heart. Or I
Aw.
have these hearts. Thank you. Just little things. And then the kids just, I don't know. I'm a visual learner. Most people are visual learners.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's fun and it makes the class more fun, even with level threes.
Yeah.
They like to see that stuff too. Now I do have a couple of kids that are auditory learners.
Mhm.
So, and I kind of learned that just from teaching them. So I have like this is one of my, this is a chicken, right? And he looks
Uh-huh.
scared or whatever, but listen to him. He's like, "Ah!" I mean, he sounds sick. But this is like this is a great prop. I mean, for the farm unit or
Uh-huh.
just noise or so many different things. So I try to integrate that as possible. So, I mean, that's just a couple. I don't want to, it could be
Super fun. I love it. I love seeing everyone's different props. You get ideas and it's fun to see how people use them for the different units and the different levels and
Yes.
so
Yes. So true.
fun. This is a good one for you because I hear you and I are a little bit crazy when it comes to this. So, what does your VIP schedule look like?
Okay. Okay. So I am full-time with VIPKid. I went full-time about a year after I started. And so I usually I try to work at 11 p.m. my time, which is Central Standard Time, to 7 a.m. I don't always get the 11 o'clock filled because let's see, that's 11, that's what, 1 p.m. their time.
Yeah.
So I might catch a student at lunch or something. Now in the summer, no problem, right? So I work pretty much, or at least midnight to 7, pretty much every day. And then of course on the weekends, I could work from 6:30 p.m. to 7 a.m., which I have done. I was challenged by Kelly one time to try and I think beat your record.
Mine is I had 26 in 13 and a half hours.
26. Yeah, and now I think with they cut off those last classes, I don't think that's possible anymore. So,
but you
but
beat me because I
anyway.
had a bunch of no-shows that day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What it was.
That's right. Yeah. So like last week, I taught 16 in a row. And I have learned I should take 30 minutes to just kind of regroup, put some props away because my desk is a mess. I mean, I have stuff all over the place because I kind of prep in between classes. I don't prep the day before.
Okay.
So I'm kind of grabbing stuff in between classes because I know where everything is. And, so anyway, that's my schedule. And I work at least 6 days a week.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm going to check the chat because there's a lot going on in here.
Okay.
You are one popular teacher here, Miss Marianne.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Teacher Kim is here and Heather. That's to Kim. Let's see. Evelyn Joy said, props. Show us carriage and fountain, Marianne.
Oh,
we just totally put her on the spot.
hold on. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, my fountain isn't in my classroom right now, but this is my carriage.
Oh,
so it's a little, little carriage. And then sometimes I'll stick an animal or something character in there because I also think it helps the student remember it better. The sillier you make it, the better they'll remember it because they remember it's kind of obtuse, not obtuse, but unique or doesn't really go, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I try and do unique props also because I think they remember it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the carriage. The fountain I don't have, but that's for the, level 1 France. I do have a fountain that
nice.
actually has water come out. So yeah. Sorry.
fun. I got to go to France today. um, really quick, Kim, aren't you? Isn't Kim in our group? Kim,
In
you
our,
are welcome to do an interview anytime. And Heather, just message me. I really thought you were in our group that I've already asked everybody. So maybe I better see who's in there. But I really thought you were. Everybody is welcome. These are so much fun. And Heather said, "Oh, Marianne, I love that bubble. I think it will be, yeah, that's a great idea. Your prop?"
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
So,
thank you. The gumball machine, yes. Another popular
Yeah.
prop are bubbles, especially
oh,
for,
yes.
this is a microphone, Dollar Tree, and then they love
Oh.
to see bubbles. As long as you keep it away from your computer.
I was just gonna say, someone when I first got started mentioned that they kept blowing them towards the kids, and then they recovered, like the camera was all bubbled
Yes.
up, and
Yes.
let's see. Would you ever go digital? Was a question from Teacher Kim.
Yes, Kim. Jeez, no.
I'm supposed to save these for the fire round, but I'm so excited that there's all kinds
that's okay.
going in.
Yes, I would. This year is my year to catch up on my own stuff. I feel like I can't handle anything new or hardly anything new or different right now. I'm just playing catch up. I mean, my dad just passed away.
Yeah.
I took care of my kids for years. I was in grad school. All these years, I kind of set my own stuff aside.
Right.
So I made this year for myself to get caught up.
Good.
You know,
And you
so
deserve it.
eventually I will go digital, and I'll probably love it and go, why do I have all these props?
Why did I wait?
Why did I wait? Yes. Because I know the older kids get excited about the digital props.
Yeah, I have a few that really like it.
Yeah. So I will eventually.
Teacher Heather said, "Holy moly, 26, that would kill me." Oh, Cindy Bennett's here.
Oh, hello, Cindy.
She said, "Hello, Marianne." And Evelyn said 8 classes in a row is her max. Cindy said the same.
Yeah.
Good point, Marianne. Oh, I understand, Kim. Okay, get with me. I'd love to hear from you. And oh, Teacher Kelly's stopping by for a quick minute. She has to leave again. Oh, Teacher Heather got it. Sorry. Kelly said she'll watch the replay. Danny, oh, I'm sorry, Danny. I gotta send you emails. She said she didn't know this was happening. So good to see you again, Marianne.
Hi, Danny. Oh.
So, and Teacher Heather said, "Still thinking of your family with your dad's death, Marianne."
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I just ran through the chat, so if you have any more questions for her fire round, please put them in there.
Okay.
Okay, so what is a challenge as a VIPKid teacher that you have had to overcome?
Okay, so I'm a talker. So those extra words, right?
Yes.
That is probably the biggest challenge. And I did that I had to overcome. And here's here's what helped me. One of my teacher friends she has a Facebook group, and her son is taking Lingo Bus.
Okay.
And so she posted just a minute video of him taking the class to get the perspective. And the teacher was phenomenal. I'm like, she didn't use any extra words. And I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, that actually seemed that it helped me. So I'm like, that's what they need. They don't need all this extra verbiage, right? Because it's hard enough, the words that they're learning.
Right.
So seeing that helped me work on that. So that was probably my biggest challenge, because I tend to, like, as I'm going to the next PowerPoint, okay, here we go, or something like that. And they're like, okay, here we go. No, I don't know. It's like, that's not part of the class, but it's hard to not, when you switch, that awkward silence, I guess, because they're looking at you and waiting in anticipation. And I just want to fill that quiet void. So, but I mean, I feel like I did overcome it, but I still occasionally forget. So
Yeah, definitely easy to do. How do you handle tough kiddos or distracted kiddos?
okay, so well, I worked with behavior kids for 8 years. I mean, the worst of the worst behaviors in school. So to me, these kids are, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me, honestly,
Uh,
because I feel like I learned a lot during that time. I learned a lot of patience and strategies. So I do have, of course, we all have had difficult students, right? And I have kids that I'm actually kind of I've always called myself firm but fair.
okay.
So even with my children, kids at school, I have expectations
Yep.
and I expect them to behave. So when you have students in class that are like, I have students that you can't even see them, right? They're looking down, they're putting their thumb over the camera,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just say, "Oh, I cannot see you. I cannot see you." And if they're laying down in bed, sit up, please. I don't ask them, I tell them, but in a nice way.
Yeah.
And I've had some really defiant kids, and I'll repeat the same thing over and over.
Mhm.
I had one student, I remember, he would lay on the bed and you couldn't see him, and he was very rude.
Mm.
And the parents weren't around. I would call the firemen, they would try to call the parent, nobody answered. And he would not answer the question. And I like, let's say it was, where is the dog? I don't know.
Right.
And I just kept repeating it over and over and over. Where is the dog? And I had taught him several times.
Yeah.
And I, in my calm voice, where is the dog? Where is the dog? Right? Over and over. He finally answered, the dog is here. Thank you. Good
Thanks.
job. But I thought, I debated, do you go on?
Mhm.
But he's so defiant that I thought, no, I am not going to let him, run the class.
Right.
I am the teacher. I am in charge. I run the class, but in a nice way, right?
Right.
So, and of course, you have to adapt to your students. So you have to, that may not work with, all the students, but it worked with him. And then after that, we got through the lesson. Eventually he stopped booking me. So,
Oh.
but that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
so you find different strategies. And I guess my point is, I don't let them do what they want. I had just had a student the other day. We're teaching, and a lot of them like to eat during class, right?
Yeah.
I have you for 25 minutes.
I know.
So she puts a piece of candy in her mouth, and I'm like, oh, no, thank you. No candy after class. And she got mad or whatever, but she took it out because how can they speak correctly if they're talking?
Right.
So, but I ask them nicely, and but it's those are my expectations. So.
Good. Very good. So are you a YouTuber is next?
Okay, well, I was kind of. I mean, I probably wouldn't have been if it wasn't for this job. I met some friends, via
Mhm.
YouTube and Facebook, and started a channel. But for me, I don't know. I just, like I said, this is my year. I have other things to take care of, and I
Mhm.
really don't have the time to devote to that. So eventually I might. I
Mhm.
mean, I kind of reviewed some of my videos. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I don't do too bad on camera. I have a hearing loss in one of my ears.
That's
I've
right.
had like 3 surgeries. And so when I had that, I tend to talk louder, I think, than I need to because I'm compensating for that. So I was always worried about how I sound.
Yeah.
And just, so my husband, he would watch the videos and he's like, oh, it's good. He gives me the reassurance and I know he's going to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So anyway, yes, but it's on hold.
There you go. Well, I hear they were great. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I have a natural loud voice, so I'm always asking everybody. Even at the start of my class, I'm like, "Am I loud? Too loud? It's okay."
Yes.
You can hear me. I used to call all the kids in from recess, just using my voice. Just
Right. I do the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, sorry,
Yeah.
teacher is loud, but
Yeah. Do you have a favorite teaching moment or a funny story?
okay. See, I tried to write write answers to these questions.
It's so good.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So I've had some tough students, like I've talked
Mhm.
about, and I had a student who was particularly tough throughout the whole class. And I thought, oh, they don't like me. I'll probably never see him again. And at the end of class, they said, I like you.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Because I'm thinking just the opposite, right?
Right.
And it just almost brought tears to my eyes because it was so sweet. And they said it just like that. And it just melted my heart because you just never know. Because when you see these students, sometimes they just stare at you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, like, are they okay? Because some kids just don't have as much expression or they're focused or serious.
Right.
And I should say, tend to read into it.
Right.
Are they mad at me? Did I do
Yeah.
something? So anyway, that I'll never forget that. That just made me feel really good. So
Mhm. Oh,
because I thought
sweet.
I was trying to, I don't know. I thought maybe I had upset them or
Mhm.
maybe they just weren't happy. Who knows what happens before
She was just
class, right?
watching you like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully I didn't like mess up your fire round because I started talking to you so much. Let's see. Oh, okay, where are you? Sorry, guys, hang on. Oh, for fire round. Tips for long stretches of classes and how do you stay positive? Oh, Danny and her questions.
Okay.
She helps me every
Okay.
time.
Thank you, Danny.
I know.
Okay, so long stretches is I make sure I used to have a mini fridge in my classroom. But my daughter took it to college with her this semester, and that was easy because we only get 5 minutes. Well, if you're like Kelly and you end on time, which thanks to her, I have really focused on that to end at 25 minutes, and it really does help.
It does.
So having having things nearby ready to grab, like I don't have to go all the way upstairs to get a drink. I have my beverages or whatever ready to go. That helps. My bathroom's right there if need
Nice.
be. I've been doing like intermittent fasting, so I don't eat while I'm teaching. So that makes it easy because then there's, it gives me more time. I do try to stretch in between, like even if I have to take off my headphones for a minute just to kind of, stretch and regroup. And since I prep in between classes, but I know where everything is. Like I teach a lot of level 1 classes, and I know I saw some teachers have a box for each level.
Yeah.
And I thought about that, but I'm like, that to me, that was a lot of work. So by my desk, I have 4 pull-out drawers, 4 containers with pull-out drawers. I keep all my level 1 props in there. So I just reach down and grab it.
Yeah.
And even if I forget something, it's not hard to, it's right here. So having things at the ready, having things available, that helps a lot. Stay positive. I know I'm being recorded. That helps me. I mean, I could be really upset about something, but I can do this and hide it because I know this is going to be recorded and it's going to be, and I don't mean that in a vain way at all. I just mean, I don't want to be like, hello, how are you? Because their parents are going to see that. They might show other parents, and you want to be as positive as possible all the time. In fact, sometimes as soon as class is done, I'm like,
I know.
I'm already smiling.
Ouch.
My cheeks hurt. So I guess knowing I'm being recorded helps me. I mean, that does help. And I like the job. I think that helps if you really like the job.
Yeah.
It's a fun job. So, okay.
Level ones hurt my cheeks. I mean, they all do by the time I'm done smiling and talking to them, but level ones, I'm like, ooh.
Yes.
So Evelyn Joy was talking about back to the behaviors that she said, yes, these kids can't kick us, so these behaviors are easy to deal with in comparison. Danny said,
Very
good for
true.
you, Marianne. How can we hear them speaking with food in their mouth?
Right.
Evelyn Joy said, yes, I have a regular who was eating corn on the cob during class. Yeah, corn on the cob. Me too.
I think we have you for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's 23 hours and 35 minutes that you can eat. I wonder if parents use it as a bribe to get them to take class.
Maybe. Teacher Kim says, I miss your videos, Marianne.
Oh, thank you, Kim.
Heather, seriously? Corn on the cob?
Right. Yeah,
I'm
that
surprised
is
the
it.
parents didn't say anything. Let's see. Evelyn said, yes, we miss your videos, Marianne.
Oh, thank
Cindy
you.
Bennett, haha, loud. I am loud too. Yes, Cindy, you are in the loud club. Must be a teacher thing, she said. Teacher Kim said, I can be loud, but I try to be quiet when teaching since my kids are sleeping in the rooms behind me.
Oh, yeah, see, I don't have that problem.
Oh, Evelyn said she tells all her students, I love you, and it's so sweet when they say it back.
That is nice.
Danny said, yes, exactly, the stone-faced students.
Right.
Loud is good. Thank you, Evelyn. Teacher Kim, have you ever gotten low Apple reviews? What did you do about it?
Okay, so I have, I just looked at my stats the other day. I have 2,105 5 apples. I have four apples, and I have 2 1 apples that were invalidated because they were, well, one, it was actually a regular student. They gave me a 1 apple, but I think they
Maybe the kid?
made a mistake because it got changed within the day. But the sad thing, it still shows as a 1 apple.
Oh.
I had one student, my first 1 apple was my first year of teaching, and I taught this student. He was a regular, very slow. I used to go to 29 minutes, and it was hard getting through all the slides because he was a slow reader. And so one time I skipped a slide. It was redundant though. It was the same concept. So I thought, oh, it'll be okay. And the parent put, skipped slide, 1 apple.
Oh.
And what can you do? You know?
Right.
But I'm like, and actually that was like I had extra time after class. So I actually stayed the 32 minutes. So they still gave me a 1 apple.
Oh, see, that's so frustrating.
Anyway, so, and yeah, the 4 apples, I don't know what happened. I don't know, parent preference. They just, for whatever reason. But other than that, yeah, they've been, my feedback has been getting better. I've been getting more feedback, especially in the last year. It has definitely increased. I've taught like over 5,000 classes.
Wow.
I'm at 52-30, give or take a few. So I've had some students, I've taught over 200 classes, not 1 feedback.
Wow.
Because the parents aren't involved, I guess, so what can you do, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the LPs at Journey, I don't know if I should announce this on YouTube, but he said that you can write down in the LP feedback, like, I've had this student for so many classes. Could you please talk to the parent about doing feedback?
It's worth a try.
It might be. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So let's see. Evelyn Joy said, the teacher moments help me see myself back and improve. Do you know I've never watched a playback? I get so embarrassed watching myself. I can't even watch these back. So
yeah, I rarely do. I'll sometimes my girls will want to see it, or I don't know, some friends, I'll show them a little bit, but yeah, I'm like, I don't want to see myself.
I see my moments and I'm like, oh,
right, cringe.
But I really need to so that I can improve. She is absolutely right. Teacher Kim said, are you going to buy the hoodie?
Yes, of course, even though I don't like orange. Although I heard they have it in black now.
Ooh.
So yes, you have to buy the hoodie, right?
would.
It's yeah. And I'll at least have it on my chair, if anything.
Right? And Danny said, "Oh no, that is crazy over one slide. How rude."
Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah.
well,
Okay.
great job. I think we fired many questions at you just now. So here's our famous last three questions. Are you ready?
Yes. I am ready.
What are some qualities of a good teacher?
Okay. So I think an important quality is you assess a student and you meet them where they are.
Mhm.
So obviously, all the students in level 2 are on different reading levels, different speaking abilities. So you have to adapt to their needs, not have them adapt to your needs.
Okay.
So that's why like a prop like this or a reward works well, because I can adapt it to, are they just learning their colors?
Mhm.
Can they practice sentences? Can they ask a question? So finding out where they are, because then I think it puts them at it helps them be more comfortable.
Good.
Okay, so adapting to the student,
Mhm.
finding out their learning style. I had a level 1 who was an auditory learner. He would not. I would be like, show him like a really cool prop.
Yeah,
Look, but when I did this and he heard it, he looked up, he paid attention, he's an auditory learner. Level 1 has in Jamaica, they play the drums. I found a video of 2 men in Jamaica playing the drums, and that was his reward. I would just show the video and he would drum along. So anyway, you have to find their learning style
Mhm.
and then adapt to that. And I don't know, I think those are important qualities because it's all about the child. What do they like? How do they learn? And once you learn that, you click with them, and then I think they're more open to listening to you.
Good. I think that's important to note too because I'm kinesthetic, so I need to touch everything. And my
Okay.
daughter is auditory. So I'm like throwing all this stuff for her to touch, touch, touch. And for her, she needed to hear it. So it was
Yes.
very important when I learned what kind of learner she was. There's actually a questionnaire that my husband and I filled out to find out what kind of learner she was. So
Okay.
yeah, if you
Yes.
find out what kind of learner, you definitely can help the kids.
Yes. I learned, my husband is an auditory learner, and I just learned, even though we've been married almost 24 years, a few years ago, I learned he has what's called aphantasia, and he cannot visualize.
Oh,
He, like, and they say, okay, close your eyes and picture yourself on the beach,
yeah.
see the waves lapping up. He can't do that.
Hmm.
But he can remember. His memory he is super smart, and his memory is amazing, and he can listen to something and he's got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's really important to figure out their learning style, like you say, kinesthetic.
Mhm.
So then you would want to have a lot of props for those types of students, because that's
Right.
how they're going to stay engaged in
And
the lesson.
find things around themselves that they
Yes.
can touch. Yeah.
Yes.
What are your strengths as a teacher?
So the ability to adapt to the student. Um, I feel like I have a lot of patience.
Good.
Which I actually learned a lot more patience working with the behavior kids.
Yeah.
Over the years. I feel like I'm a fun teacher. I try to bring fun props. I do silly voices. I have a student, where is it? Oh, his name is Iron Man. That's his name.
Oh.
So my husband, who's a big kid, has, the Iron Man mask. So I'm like, hello, Iron Man, and so, which makes it fun, because if they're enjoying the class, then you can teach them. They want to learn. I stay engaged. I try to keep the student engaged, and I'm genuine. I really do love this job. It's not just like, well, it works for me. I can work from home, and I think kids are really smart. They can tell if you're really enjoying what you're doing or not. They can tell if you really like them. And you can't really fake it with children, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. right. Okay, what is your favorite teaching resource, professional development, or a book?
Okay, so okay, I didn't think about that. I wrote down. I was supposed to look that up. Uh, well, so I have some. I mean, I have some books that when I was in graduate school, that we were required to buy, that I use for resources. And I'm sorry, I don't have the names of them offhand.
Yeah.
I could get them to you, but I do refer to them.
Uh-huh.
I can't even think right now what they are.
I couldn't think of any either. And
Because
right now, the only thing as far as for VIPKid would be the workshops and all of that. But mostly, I mean, our groups and our friends that are in VIPKid, I think they are
Sure, yes.
my biggest resources.
Yes, it is a great resource. Like, I'll give her a shout out, like Laura Risdale, went to China and interviewed that male teacher about his feedback. And I feel like we can always learn something. It's not like, okay, I got this job down pat, I don't need to change anything. Right. So feedback, I've gone back and forth over the years because I do a lot of feedback, right? The more classes you teach.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're just like, I just want to get this done. And other times I will spend extra time. And so I'm like him. I type in the chat box as class is going on. I've never been called out for it. And I try to take as many notes as possible. And I know everybody has their own strategy, but that's what the parents want, is specific feedback. And I really try, and I call them out on any mistake, because I feel like that as a parent, if I'm paying for that class, I want to get my money's worth.
Right.
So I want my student or my child to be corrected, and you can, of course, do it in a nice way. And because that's why we're here, right? And if you're like, well, I don't want to call them out on it. And I've had some students get mad. Like, I had one girl, she just does not like to be corrected. But I'm like, well, I'm sorry, you're making that mistake. And then she'll say it angrily. And I'm like, thank you.
You did it.
You did it, yes. So the workshop, I mean, I haven't taken a workshop in a long time, to be honest. But they're great in the beginning. I mean, it really helps you, like, you learn some tips and tricks. And but I think, when you work as a teacher already, or work in the school, you've kind of learned some things. So it's not like you're, I don't know what's going on. So anyway.
Good.
So and I know when to be serious. I know when to be goofy. I mean, I always call myself like a chameleon. I can adapt to whatever the situation is.
I still get embarrassed. I like to be goofy, but I still get a little bit like, so I gotta get over that.
Oh, yes, I'm past that now. I don't know.
So teacher Heather said she shows her kids. I show my kids the teacher moments and they laugh at me. Let's see. Danny, same. I have grown to like orange, but she prefers blue.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Blue.
Evelyn, moments are so cringeworthy. Hey, Candy Addicted's here. Nice to see you.
Hello, Candy Addicted.
Teacher Heather, they are. Evelyn and I'm like, how in the world did they pick these moments? I know.
Right.
Teacher Heather said, you are definitely fun, Marianne.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Danny agreed. And that's to Danny, to Candy. Seeing if I missed anything. That video of Laura's has over 1,000 views in a day.
Wow. I believe it.
I need to watch it. I still haven't seen it.
I think the most, one of the biggest struggles, especially newer teachers have, is with feedback. They don't know what to put.
I'm still a template girl.
Are you? Yeah.
I know. I start with something and then I use the template and then I end with something. So I try to put something personal, but I use the template for like what we went over.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody's different. I think I think we don't see enough examples, and I think that's why it's a big topic. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody wants to put their example out there. Not nobody, but I mean,
Right.
everybody has their own style. And my feedback has definitely changed over the years. I mean, definitely. And I
Yeah.
know it's only gotten better. And I think that's why my 5 apples have increased. Because the first year they were like, eh. And
Yeah.
then in the past year, they've really gone up a lot.
I'm going to write myself a note, and I am researching feedback, guys, because
Right. Yeah, that's a good, it's a good topic. It's a
I
good
am going to
video.
research it, and I am going to come back to you all with some good ideas
you
for
go.
feedback.
There you
And
go. Yeah.
I'll do a
Because
video.
how else? Yeah, because well, I think we're afraid of like how it's going to be translated. We don't want to
Yeah.
use, too big of words.
Mhm.
If that wasn't a question, a concern,
Right.
then I think it would be a lot easier.
And
Yeah,
I
because
had a
we get
student.
feedback, right? That was like, what did they just say?
Right. I had a student, and his name was Sniper on the thing. So when I put it in feedback, it flagged me. And I'm like, I didn't pick that name. That's what's on my screen.
Right,
So,
then you have to spell it out letter by letter with a
and
space in
silly.
between.
You couldn't say silly, even though silly's
Yes.
in some of the lessons. So I'm
Yes.
always nervous of.
Right.
Let's see. Do you have time? Are you still
Yes,
okay?
I have time.
This is great. Do you ever feel like sometimes the parents don't read the feedback? This is from Candy Addicted. I mentioned to one parent in feedback a million times that he needs someone to sit with him, but no one ever does.
Yes, I do feel like feedback goes unread, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's when you want to reach out to the learning partner. So all the way at the bottom,
Mhm.
there's that paragraph or that space, and you
Right.
can put student needs more parent involvement or whatever.
Mhm.
And I use that actually quite a bit because I think and I try to put positive stuff in there too. It's not just always problems. I'll
Right.
put, you know, Bow, right? Was fantastic. He's really progressed with, learning about conjugating verbs or whatever. So you want to put I think positive stuff in there too, because I'm sure the learning partners hear a lot of negative or fix this, fix that.
Right.
So I would suggest utilizing the learning partner. I never put a negative comment in the parent section.
Mhm.
I never say, your child was really rude today. Never, ever, ever. Because I don't know. I think that's what the learning partner is for.
Okay.
So I think the learning partner is a good tool to utilize.
Mhm. It's a sandwich, right? I won't say what I've been taught it's called, maybe a poo-poo sandwich. It's the
Okay.
good, the stuff they need to work on, and then good again, right? You sandwich it in there.
Yes. Start
Nice.
with a positive and end with a positive.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Good advice.
It's not really the way I wanted to say it, but that's the way it came out.
Right. Yeah.
So Danny said, laugh out loud, Marianne. I also mimic my students if they read too fast. Teacher Heather said, Marianne, you are so inspirational.
Oh, thank you. That's
This
sweet.
This
That's
is
sweet.
great. You're doing an awesome
Aw.
job. I love this. Teacher Heather said, I had a question. When you have an older student who is blurry due to lighting and not deliberate, what do you do?
Blurry due to lighting and not what?
Not deliberate.
Deliberate.
So
Yeah.
it's not really their fault, but it's you're coming in.
I will sometimes say, I don't know if it's too I can't see you, and I might show them, you can't really show them the camera, but I just kind of squint a lot and try to use a lot of TPR. Like I can't see you. And then I might even have I know there's a prop you can get like a light switch, not that you have to have that, but
Yeah.
or maybe I'll show them my lamp light.
Yeah.
And because sometimes they don't have the light on and it's hard to see. And sometimes they just don't have probably the HD camera.
Yeah.
And you can tell it is, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. But I do try to, question where are you? Or if you can't hear them or something, because it could be
Right.
something on their end that's fixable. So
Good.
I don't know.
I did have one. I did that, and they went and opened the curtain, and in came some light, and I was like, "Oh, that was a good fix."
Right. Yes. Yes.
And again, you are getting shout outs for missing your videos. Danny said, right?
Oh,
I miss Marianne's videos too. I learned a lot. And Teacher Kim said, same here, Danny.
oh, thank you.
So
Thank you. Oh, you guys are sweet. Yeah. Well,
you're
come help
great
me.
to talk to.
What's that?
I said, you're great to talk to. You've got a
Oh,
lot of
thank you.
information, and
Thanks.
this has been great. I've learned a lot from you just in this 50 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I told you I am a talker. I could talk and talk and talk. Yeah.
I love it. Love it. So that's it. Do you have anything
Okay.
else you want to tell us? You want to plug?
I don't know. I mean, I just say I mean, this is a fantastic job, and I hope we don't know, right? Nothing's guaranteed. I hope it lasts a long time, because I could see myself, doing this for the next X amount of years. I mean, I'm a little older than some of y'all, so I only have so many more years till I can retire. But yeah, I mean, it's a really fun job. I try not to take it for granted. I mean, I think sometimes I do, and I get with some students that are, you're like, oh, that student, you're like,
Yes.
okay, how can I make it fun? I mean, the ones that just literally stare at you, and you've taught them 17 times and they're the same. And it's like, how can I make a breakthrough? That to not like, just like, oh, that student again, let me just get through the class.
I had
and
one the
she'll be
other
okay.
day, a little breakthrough, some of you know, and it like made me tear up. And I didn't even finish the video for you guys on like the whole end, because I finally had a breakthrough with this little guy, and I was just like,
Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah. I have what I was going to say about the learning partners is really utilize them. A quick story. I had a girl, she was 4 years old, was in level 2, like a mid-level, not mid, but beginning.
Yeah.
And it just was too hard for her. She didn't enjoy the class. She had trouble. It just wasn't fun. And you could see it on her face. Grandma was sitting with her, telling her, whispering her the answers. And I'm like, she's not learning. So I wrote a letter or a note to the LP. I strongly recommend, she go to level 1. Because I think they placed her in level 2 initially. After 3 classes, and each time I wrote to the LP, the 4th time I had her, she was in level 1. Yes, I mean, I was good, right? And that's where she needed to be, because it was hard for her to make a sentence. Yeah. And so we started in level 1 at the beginning with China. And now she's in level 11 or unit 11. I mean, she's in Mexico. We're getting ready to go to Peru, which is the last level, right? Well, turns out she has a sister. She has a twin.
Oh, wow.
And so I teach both of them. And once she started, her sister started level 1 a couple classes after. So I've been teaching them for a few months now. I teach them 2 to 3 times a week. And the mom did come to me. Usually grandma sits with them. And one day after class, the mom was trying to find out, like, they're in level 1, like asked if I had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna, because I wasn't sure if she was angry or whatever. But it has been the best thing for them, because it's so awesome. They are making sentences. So for example, like there's a lot of patterns in level 1, right?
Yeah.
One of the slides. And so I'll make a pattern. What comes next? And she'll make a pattern, and she'll ask me what comes next. And so this was a good thing for her. And I know the parents think, oh, my child's really smart, I'm going to put them here.
Right.
And it's not that they're not smart, but they need that background. They need that, just getting comfortable with talking in a foreign language. And so anyway, that's one of I feel like a success story, because I kept writing to the LP. So I would just suggest use them as a resource. That's what they're there for, but also throw out some positives once in a while, because that's their job. They're human too. They want to hear some positive feedback as well. So
good. So you have another question in the chat.
Okay.
Marianne, what do you use for a background?
What do I use?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is my classroom. I just put these shelves in here a couple months ago, and I haven't put up. Well, my stuff fell.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to put up some stuff for Valentine's Day, and I was just using like cheap Scotch tape. So I'm going to get the command strips or hooks or whatever. But I try to decorate if I can for each holiday,
Right.
and just put up fun stuff. I always have my dinos up there because then they're easy to grab, and the kids see it because they'll say dino, dino, and or they might if I have a panda up there, and I'm like, oh, panda. So I do have. I can't even tell you how many props I have. You'd like. I have hundreds. Well, I do have two. I have two girls, so I saved most of their toys. So I use a lot of those props.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I don't need to buy any more props this year. I should probably open up an IRA and throw the money in there.
I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I had a ton of props too.
Yes. Behind me, the wall, because it's my daughter's old bedroom.
Okay.
I turned it into my office. So behind me, I have this big pegboard. I can show you. It's kind of messy. I'll turn it around real quick and show you. So I have this pegboard that one of my friend's husbands put up, and my daughter painted it. And so I'm just kind of getting started with it, but I keep a lot of stuff up there so it's easy to grab. And I mean, I have, a lot of stuff, but that's me. See, that's my teaching style. Whereas some people, I know the minimalists would have a heart attack if they saw my office, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I can't, I'm not a minimalist. I'd be bored to tears with not having props. So that's where you have to find what works for you.
Yeah. I sent a picture of my class after my back-to-back level ones one day. I'm like, how do you have just a corner in a room and it looks like my kindergarten classroom in just a little corner? So, no one would have known that you had stuff fall down. It wasn't on YouTube yet.
I know. I need to like zip it. I talk too much.
Okay, did I get to them all? Same, Danny. Let's see. Having a breakthrough is awesome. I had a student who didn't know when I was asking a question. He would only repeat. After 2 months, he finally realized I was asking a question. She was so excited.
Aww.
That's Candy. Oh, good.
That's fun. Yeah.
And Danny likes your shelf behind you.
Thank you.
And
I need to zoom in so it's not so you can't see all my stuff around me.
Yeah. Wow, so many props. I am so scared to teach level 1 because level 1 is so prop heavy from Candy.
Oh, Candy, no, it's fun though.
Level 1 is super fun. So I think I got to all of the questions. Thank you, everybody in the chat. This has been great. We have 10 people watching, at least from what I can see.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Please don't forget to like our video today. And I think that's it.
Okay.
This has been great.
Thank you, Casey.
So much, Marianne.
Welcome.
I'll see you in Facebook land here in a little bit. So
yes, definitely. Bye.
Right, have a great one. Bye. I always have to find the end meeting button.